I think I've read or I've heard that love is our natural state. I don't know how far you would agree with that, but that's some kind of information I have.
Read it somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, is that true? And I just don't understand, like, does that mean there are different types of love? Is some love conditioned? And then obviously there's an unconditioned type of love?
Yeah, no, I think people get very confused about it. I think people get confused with this idea of unconditional love, that someone becomes like saintly, that they become enlightened and their feet are kind of like permanently a couple of inches off the floor, and they just manifest all this. But that's not what human beings are like. And what the enlightened being is not doing is not putting on any false airs and graces. They're not trying to be something that they're not. Right? So an enlightened person they have an unconditional love for life because they've realised that there is no division between anything anywhere. So everything is just the manifestation of it's just this wonderful cosmic soap opera. Yeah. This is unfolding, and none of it is the serious, dreadfully serious thing you thought it was. So there is a lightness about them. There is a joy in the magic, in the mystery of life, and there isn't a harsh condemnation of anyone about anything. So there is this unconditional acceptance that life is the way it is, but it's gone beyond acceptance, because acceptance has this connotation of choice, to accept or not accept, and I'm choosing to accept, which has the connotation of self behind it. Whereas it's just the spontaneous unfolding of life.
So when you see another person, are you seeing the spontaneous unfolding of life?
Of course. Yeah, but you can also see it in terms of the conventional reality. I mean, one of the major differences, for instance, is you've long since let go of judging a person's worth by their behaviour, because you've recognised that it's not the person that's the problem, it is that the behaviour produces painful results. So you're no longer judging the person. You might very well be aware and able to discern and discriminate different kinds of action and the results that those actions produce, but there's a clear recognition that the person is not that. And that's just on the conventional level. Obviously at the ultimate level we realise that there is just this amazing cosmic kaleidoscope of experience unfolding, and it's just amazing, and everything is that. So there isn't they're not separate from, nothing is separate from that.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask, like, how is it that we're not separate? What is it that's actually occurring?
Well, but you're asking me to use language to describe, in which case I'm dividing things down into, because then I'm separating off. So, for instance, like with a tree, something like a tree, it is somewhat arbitrary.
It's fine.
It's a kind of weird cut-off, because how can you cut the tree off from, say, sunlight or rain or nutriments being drawn up from the earth? But we separate off this idea. A tree is one thing, and the sun is something else, and rain is something else, and nutriment is something else. But how would there be a tree if there weren't those other things?
Yeah.
So there is a conditional relationship, but we've made this arbitrary division between things, when in reality there isn't. Now, but some of the joy is being able to. The joy is the inclusion of the conventional reality in our overall understanding of life, because it's a joy to see the way in which life quite happily and spontaneously separates things down, how mind and body, the interaction of mind and body, creates this emergent reality that we call Bradford and Avon, or planet Earth, or Paul and Becky sitting down to have a conversation. So you don't lose anything, but it's like you see through the illusory nature of appearance, and you come to this. Well, you don't come to it. It's like you stop ignoring. You stop ignoring the fact that actually there is no division anywhere. There's just this seamlessness. That's the best way. But any description at all, even if I start to separate things down into, it's like blissful being, I've already created categories. I've already started separating things off and making this arbitrary cut-off between things. And that just doesn't exist.
Ultimately.
Yeah, well, ultimate reality are things arising and passing away due to conditions.
Yeah.
So you're still doing it. You're still dividing things up and saying, oh, that's seeing consciousness, that's shape and colour. Yeah. So we're still doing that, but we're doing that specifically to undercut the tendency to crave for life to be different. And once we've fully completed that process, at the end of the fourth path, there is now no longer the tendency to ignore reality. And it is after that point that you go, oh, there's just this comprehensive understanding that was always there, but you'd ignored it. So it's not denied anyone. And it's so simple that the very attempt to explain it just muddles it all up. So just keep practicing. Just keep practicing looking at things rise and pass away.